Look
Is that
at
working?
you. You got your lei and
Hi,
everything.
I have my lei on.
I know, you look
My
beautiful.
mom,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for, sorry about the technical difficulties. Um,
Oh, no problem.
okay, so I want to know, well, which island did you grow up on? Tell me a little bit about your history, your background.
So I grew up on Oahu, and we were in Kailua when I was first born, and then moved over to Manoa.
Oh, I love that. The valley. I'm in Pacific Heights in the next valley over.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
gorgeous.
What was it like moving from Hawaii to Salt Lake City? I mean, I've seen the show, but I want to hear it from you directly.
So it was a big culture shock, moving from from Hawaii to Salt Lake City. Just number one, the weather, you know, and just it's, we leaving behind a lot of my family. So when I moved to Salt Lake City, I was on the airplane and back home to Hawaii, like the day school was out. And I would stay in Hawaii all summer and then come back right when school started.
Hmm. Now,
And I miss the food too.
what's your favorite Hawaii dish?
Manapua. I mean, because we can't really get that here.
Yeah.
And I've gone to, Seattle and different places where they'll advertise it. And I'm like, I'll call my mom, like, Mom, this is fake Manapua. This is not real.
Okay, I need to know exactly where you get your manapuas because I was just talking to my boss. I said, what is the best place around here to get a manapua? I still have, I'm like going here and there, but I haven't found my favorite one yet.
You know what? I'm going to ask my Auntie Hua. She's here, and she's the one that orders it for me. So I'm going to ask
Yeah.
her. So I'll get
Thank
you in touch with
you.
her.
Hey, okay, so I love how you incorporated your culture at Meredith's party. You had the dancers. How else do you celebrate your Tongan Hawaiian culture?
Every day, I feel like, I mean, it's who I am, and it's part of, my life, how I was brought up. So I know when we had the Meredith's birthday party, people were like, "Oh, you made it about you," and I'm like, in my culture, anybody that I love, that's how I show up my love. We celebrate with, dancers and food and having fun, and that's how we show our love in our Polynesian culture. And so I think, every day here, my family, thankfully, I have a lot of family here from Hawaii now. They're all around me. And we have a huge Polynesian community here in Utah. So, my mom is heavily involved in the Hawaiian Civic Club here and the chapter that's here. And then also, I'm involved in some different committees. So we're very involved in the Hawaiian community, even though we're here in cold Salt Lake City. We're
What
keeping it
is your
warm.
favorite memory of Hawaii? What is it that you're like, oh gosh, I will never forget that experience?
The beach, the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
that's
your favorite
my
beach?
um my favorite beach. Well, when we moved to Manoa, we were always at like Waikiki Beach, always, because it was right down the road. But on the North Shore, when we go, out to the North Shore surfing, we love the beaches out there.
Yes.
That's my place of peace. My husband and my family always tell me, they're like, you're a totally different person when you go back home, because it's so relaxing and calm and peaceful.
There's something about this place that's like you can't even describe it. It's so soothing. It's like a vortex, I swear.
Yeah, the second you walk off the airplane, you smell Hawaii right when you walk off the airplane.
That's right. It's true. And it's like a scent like no other. Okay, now is being a real housewife. First of all, I watched the after show last week and they're like, Jen Shah was born to be a real housewife. And I'm like, what, is it what you thought it would be? Oh,
It's that's a great question. It's not really what I it really was just like, hey, Jen, do your normal life, plan your parties you're going to have, just do your businesses, just do what you're going to do. And we're going to come in and film it. And then of course, you bring all the components in of the girlfriends and, the friend group and the issues or the highs and lows that come with that. Right. But, so it was so much fun filming. What I did not expect was that they truly can edit it however they want, and make it look a certain way. So that's the part I didn't expect, but so I was a little naive about that. But the filming itself, it was, we had a great time filming season 1.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets at all?
My only regret is, I wasn't portrayed on the show as I truly am. I get it. Somebody has to be the villain or the explosive one. And I am. Everything I did on the show, I did, but it wasn't fully shown, every single thing leading up to it and what really happened. But again, we could film 10 hours in a day and for weeks and weeks and months, and they can only fit it into a 50-minute segment,
Right.
13 50-minute segments. So they have to condense it down to what they feel will be great TV. So that's the only thing I regret, is just I wasn't portrayed as my true authentic self. But I guess that's what a season 2 is for.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah.
There's that part where you kind of open up to Sharif. You're sitting on the bed and you're very emotional and you speak about, I can't do this alone. And it's almost like a breaking point. Did you ever think that, or like a light bulb moment, did you ever think that like your relationship would play out like that with cameras around? And do you find it easier or harder?
I never thought my relationship would play out with cameras around ever. But that was one of the blessings of filming, is that I was dealing with the loss of my dad, but I had really just not dealt with the grief and processed it, and it was manifesting itself in other ways. And the blessing of the show was there's cameras around you 24/7, and you have to just you go through all your emotions. And it forced me to really realize it. What before I would keep working, open up new offices, keep myself very busy. And now with the show, I had to, stay home in Salt Lake City and really focus what the issues were, and basically drink by a fire hose for 8 hours at a time, talking about my dad and how do I feel. And so I had no choice but to face the emotions and really get to the bottom of what was going on with me. So, that was one of the best things that could have happened to me. I feel like doing the show is that I had to come to reality with that, with my emotions and losing my dad, and then discuss it with my husband. And I didn't know I was holding any resentment against him until I was working through the emotions.
It's almost like a therapy, like on display for everyone to see. But I really commend you for being able to open up in front of so many people. It must have been really hard, especially watching that episode.
Yes, watching it back, I was like, oh wow. Like, I mean, I know we went through it, right? But then watching it back, it's like, wow, when Coach and I watched it back, it still makes us, tear up, because it was such a powerful moment for both of us, and very, like, groundbreaking in our marriage and in my journey dealing with my dad's grief.
Sharif is like a little Buddha. I love him. He seems like he's the best.
He is. He really is. He's so supportive, and he's always been there for me, and truly he has that unconditional love for me. Yeah.
I love that. You
I'm
deserve
lucky.
that. Okay, so my last question is, what would you tell yourself now that you didn't know prior to going into the show?
That you're recorded all the time. So don't say anything you don't want to be, shown to America, even in the heat of a moment. Count to 10, take, deep breaths and before you respond.
Yes. Oh, someone asked me, what is your status with Heather? How are you doing with Heather?
We have, texted here and there after the reunion. I was pretty surprised at the reunion. We had made up at the Beauty Lab grand opening. And then at the reunion, to hear some of the things she was saying surprised me. So I think it's, with any friendship, the good, strong friendships are going to go through the hard times. And, it just sees how we come out of it. If we can push through that, will define how great our friendship is or can be. So hopefully it's the kind of friendship that, can withstand these issues that we're talking about. I mean, they're tough issues. And I think, Heather and I need to have like a face-to-face, sit down just to make sure, because I feel like things keep coming up that I don't know about.
Well, and I wonder too if, with so many like social media, people commenting, accounts and things like that, if that has any like impact on the way she thinks or the way that you might think or the way that she speaks in response to you.
Yeah, social media has a big effect on how she thinks and responds. To me, I feel like social media is like a separate thing.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is if I like a comment or repost, she takes it like to heart, or she takes it as like gets offended. So that's one thing that I've learned throughout this experience.
Yeah. And then whatever happened with the camera in the hot tub?
Oh, the camera in the hot tub. Well, I was told I was being taken to a 5-star spa and that Whitney was going to apologize. Then when I get there, Heather's there. So I'm like, what's going on? And it looks like I'm on the movie set of Shah. And what is happening? And then when we got in there, the reason I splashed is because I was very hurt and it was emotional because the party for Sharif meant a lot for me to throw for him and it was ruined. And then some of the production started laughing and I got mad and I was like, you know what? This is actually real life for me. This isn't funny. This isn't a joke. So that's what happened.
Oh man. Well, I'm excited
for a 4-hour drive to get to that spa in the middle of nowhere.
Spa. Oh man. Well, if you ever come to Hawaii, I want to meet you on it. I want to take you out for drinks. We'll go to an actual 5-star spot.
Okay.
Thank you again. I love you. I can understand
so
how I can't understand how it feels to, kind of be portrayed in a certain light that maybe isn't fully correct or is
right.
tainted almost. So I really wish you well and I commend you again for just being honest and putting yourself out there. You cool.
Thank you so much. I'm definitely coming back to Hawaii as soon as we can travel and we get the thumbs up. So I will let you know and we will go out.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Tell the Shah spot I said hey.
I will.
Thank you.
I said hi.
Aloha.
Aloha. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.